Studio check.
Frequencies check.
We are live on air.
You are listening to the It Factor, blessing the airwaves. Take the journey into the world of sports, news, entertainment, while embracing the hottest beats on the planet. Rocking the mind, body, and with energy, electricity, and a splash of controversy. Now, without further ado, it's our pleasure to bring to you
The biggest show in the world.
The biggest show in the world.
the biggest show in the world, the Sbtv Nation.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you. Sunday morning, NFL Sunday. We are here. We are live. Having a hell of a good time. Looking forward to getting all of our fantasy work right, getting all our wagering work right. And I've got my man, the evil genius, on the other line, Dr. Dan. Good morning to you, brother. Welcome back.
Oh, thanks, man. It has been a long, strange trip, I'll tell you that, all over this country. But I am finally back in the CT.
Oh, good for you, man. Well, it's great to have you back, and I'm just looking forward to rocking and rolling and going up and down the card today. All of your NFL all day long. You know what, Dan? I have to work today, but you bet your ass my phone's going to be on auto refresh.
Yeah, I got to work today too. It's about making that money, you know.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna be sitting on the couch with the remote control, eating chips with dip and whatever else I want, while figuring out how to maximize my profits.
Oh, absolutely, man. So, good morning to everybody. We're live on Twitter right now, Sbtv Nation. Talking to Shane Whitehead this morning, Shy Picks, Direct Sports Solutions, bunch of people out there, and just looking forward to going through it. Now, real quick, Dan, just wanted to touch on the collegiate football yesterday, just to kind of get through what went down yesterday real quick. And there's one team that I got to be honest with you, they surprised me. And you know what? I mean, the defense of Washington State going into Oregon and holding them to only 10 points. You know, Oregon looked like a deer in headlights last night offensively after the first quarter. They couldn't do anything, man.
I mean, that surprised me. I don't know if that was my biggest surprise. I think my biggest surprise was Iowa State.
Oh, big time.
I mean, that's crazy, but no, I mean, look, you know, I've been a fan of this Washington State team, and I know we all were kind of a fan of Oregon, but I think Oregon is who they kind of thought, you know, we were at the beginning of the year. Yeah. They had a couple really good weeks, but that offense, and look, Wash State is great, but I mean, 10 points, you know, that says something.
Oregon had no answer whatsoever, and their quarterback is having a very tough time throwing the ball, that's for sure. And just, I mean, you know, the run opens up the pass opens up the run. The problem is when you're running a little bit and you got a quarterback that really can't pass all that well, you're going to eventually have the run stopped. And I can't take anything away from Washington State's defense. I mean, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
I mean, dude, between Washington and Washington State, I mean, those they could both get in. Would they have to play each other? When do they play each other?
That's what I'm looking up right now to try to get a feel for when that game is.
Because you had Washington. I mean, look, I know Cal is not all that at all, but blowing them out of the building 38-7 as well. You know, so that's going to be a hell of a game.
Right on, man. And at the end of the year, Washington gets the home team. They are the home team as they host Washington State on November 25th. So you might have two undefeateds going, and then whoever wins that, you know.
So what are your thoughts on, on Ohio State now? 5-1. You obviously have the big upset with Michigan, right?
Yeah.
Do you think, I mean, Michigan putting up 10 points and losing to Michigan State at home, you got to think Ohio State is now looking very good.
Well,
possibly get in again, right?
I think there's another Big Ten team that's even looking better than them, and that's Penn State.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I think it comes down to what's the rest of Penn State's schedule look like? Because I'm a fan of Penn State, don't get me wrong, but it was Northwestern, guys. Like, let's remember that. You know, everybody wants to be like, oh, Penn State.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm not sold on who they've played yet, right? I mean, Akron, okay, they blew out Akron. Pitt at home, they should have beaten the crap out of Pitt. Georgia State, if you're not blowing them out, they almost lost to Iowa on the road. And look, I think Iowa's a little underrated. Indiana, they looked okay, and they blew out Northwestern. So next time, they got Michigan at home next week, and then at Ohio State. Those are the games.
Those are the games.
If they beat Michigan and then Ohio State beats them even at home, I think that puts Ohio State in the driver's seat.
Of course. Or Penn State, yeah, definitely. So,
yeah.
All right, man. Well, let's get right into it, Dan, because we got a lot to talk about as far as the NFL, man. So, you ready to rock?
I'm ready,
Let's do it, man. All right. So, guys, NFL Sunday, the cream is rising to the top. You could probably get a good feel for these teams at this point in the season. We got some injuries, some big ones to talk about. But when you pull this up here, we're going to start right out the gate with the 1 o'clockers. And what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the Bills, who are 3-1, versus the 1-3 Cincinnati Bengals. Now, you got a 3-1 team getting 3 points in Cincinnati from a 1-3 team. Nothing really to worry about there. Under over of 39.5. This Bills defense has been pretty good, Dan.
Yeah. But, again, I think the Bills are kind of not all there. I mean, I just don't. I'm not a believer in the Buffalo Bills. So they've played the Lions, which was a good win. The Jets, the Panthers.
Yep.
I mean, look, the Broncos, I think, was a good win. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this Bills team. But here's what I will say. Look, for all the crap that Andy Dalton gets, and you and I love dishing on him the most. Of
course.
He lit it up last week.
Sure.
I mean, if you're a fantasy player, he put up basically 30 points and was all out. You got to think, I mean, Cincinnati, this is a absolute must-win for them.
Oh, couldn't agree more. You go 1-4, you got a problem.
Right. 2-3, you can survive that. You can survive 2-3. I like the Bengals in this game.
You do, huh?
I do.
Yeah, I mean, the big win at Cleveland is not all that great. I understand that. They were on the road. When you look at this game, I mean, last time.
No Jordan Matthews either.
No Jordan Matthews. Okay, the last time they played each other was last November. It was a 16-12 victory for Buffalo. The thing is that Buffalo, their secondary is outstanding, man. They're only allowing 186 yards per game through the air. Taking a look at it, neither offense dazzles you at all. Buffalo 18 points, Cincinnati 16 points. I think this game might be a little bit of a defensive field position game in the beginning, and then maybe break out in the second half. So, taking a look at it, I don't have a side here. I'm not a big fan of Tyrod Taylor or Andy Dalton, the Red Rocket, to be honest with you. I'm going to pass on this game, although
Andy Dalton at least wins in the regular season.
Yeah. One other note, I can tell you that Buffalo, if you've been betting them this year, you're 4-0 against the spread, brother.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what gives me a little bit of pause. But, again, especially an NFL team with their back up against the wall. And I still think the talent level is actually better in Cincinnati than in Buffalo, and it's a home game,
And Buffalo was on the road last week, man. So, I mean,
I know.
Still being on the road here. I think, you know what? You might be talking me into Cincinnati, to be honest with you.
I can't see the Bengals losing this game. And, look, if you're going to play the 3, I think that's a little dangerous, right? I mean, I like it, but I'd probably get it. I'd probably money line that.
Okay. Do you have anything on Tyler Eifert, their tight end for Cincinnati? Week to week.
I have the whole injury list up. Let me.
Oh, it says he's out. He's still out.
Yeah. Yep. So the Bengals have a little bit of an issue there, but they also have their backup tight end out. So I expect, but I actually just kind of expect to see them go more to their running backs in the passing game, which I think works for them.
Okay.
And I think you got to run different routes. Like you said, the secondary of the Bills is dope. You got to hope. And again, I'm relying on Marvin Lewis, which sounds terrible. It almost makes you want to puke. But like, you got to think that he's not going to throw a bunch of deep routes.
Sure.
Down the field. So I think if they get in that short passing game with the running backs and the receivers, I just think they win this game.
All right. So you're looking for backs to come rolling out, catching the ball a couple yards out, and maybe the backs have some big fantasy numbers today.
That's what I'm hoping.
All right. Sounds good, man.
That's what I'm hoping when I look at this game.
All right. Let's go into the next one. We got the nastiest one on the day. We got the Jets, who are 2-2, believe it or not, a 500 team versus the 0-4 Browns. And the 0-4 Browns are favored -1, Dan. Under over 40.5. Wow. Do the Browns have any business giving anybody a point?
No.
No.
I got this as a pick, actually. And I hear Dream in the back of my head, but like I'm taking the Jets today.
You're taking the Jets on the road. Wow.
Yeah, the Browns are a miserable football team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we sat here. I remember talking to you preseason, and you're looking. You're like, oh man, they made a couple good moves. They did this. They did that. This is a team that got beat by the Colts. I mean, in a brutal way. I mean, 0-4. I understand everybody's saying this is where they get a win, but the Jets are in a position that nobody thought they'd be in, right? I mean, 2-2. Everybody thought this team was winning 2 games all year. And I think when you have a bunch of young guys that are trying to prove themselves, that are still like basically earning their contracts, right? That means a lot. And then you have this Browns team that is just pitiful, 0-4. Season's basically a wrap.
Yeah.
I just like the Jets to come out there and get it done. I think the Jets have the better quarterback.
Well, one bright spot for the Cleveland Browns is that they actually don't allow a lot of yards on the ground, 76.5 per game. Going to kind of force the Jets to throw the ball a little bit here, I think.
It's okay.
You know what? You might see a little bit more scoring than you would think in this game. I'm going to stay away from this. This is ugly as hell, brother.
I know, but I love fading the Browns.
Big ups to my man Primetime Capper as well. I'm trying to get him in here, but he's just having some very difficult times getting in and calling in the show. But, hey, man, if you want to send me your plays, I'd be more than happy to read them, brother. All right. Next one on the ticket, we got the Detroit Lions, who are hosting the Carolina Panthers. Carolina 3-1, Dan. A lot of controversy going on.
That's an illusion.
Yeah, a lot of controversy going on with Killer Cam Newton, making some not so great remarks on the press conference. But taking a look at this particular game, Detroit -2.5 with an under/over of 42.5 in the Dome in Detroit, Ford Field. I think Detroit wins this game. What's your thoughts?
Detroit is winning and covering.
Detroit's going to win and cover. Talk to me.
It's just a mirage. I understand that the Patriots might. I don't. That defense is terrible. Okay, I know they looked like they got it right on Thursday a little bit, but I mean the Patriots have given up 30+ points to everybody. I'm not saying it's not a good win.
Yeah,
I'm not. But this is the same team that got their doors blown off by the Saints, right? Like they put up 13 points. This is the same team that put up not a 9 spot against the Bills. I think Detroit is a legit team. I think there's really no issue here. I think, it's going to be a close game first half. I'd see a low scoring first half and then Detroit just kind of breaking them open.
Okay.
Because they know, man, you hit Cam a little bit.
Yeah.
Just hit him. Hit him up.
Well, Cam, I mean, in the first 3 games, they only put up 25 points in the first 3 games. And then, I'm sorry, my bad. They actually scored 23 points versus the San Francisco 49ers. So my bad on that. But it's still a low total.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's that about? What were they averaging? 15, something like that. Putting up a 33 spot on the Patriots. Patriots defense does stink. I totally understand that. Looked a little bit better this past Thursday night, but when you take a look at this, I got Detroit winning the game.
Yeah,
I got Detroit winning and covering as well.
Forget, you want to talk about the comments, like he's an idiot, but also you're going to tell me, like, the one thing that affects these guys is losing money. And, I mean, he just got basically dropped by his biggest sponsor. You don't think losing a couple mil is probably weighing on his mind a little
big
bit?
Time. And he's not having the best year at all. I mean, he's 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, only averaging 7.88 yards per attempt. So, I mean...
Look, the thing is when Cam's at his best, he's running play action, he's rolling out... he's hitting his 7-8 yard targets that are, able to turn up field. They're methodical drives with a very good defense, right? That's what he needs to do to win. I think the defense is real good. I could see Cam giving up a couple turnovers today, maybe a fumble and a pick. And again, you're right. Their red zone is not that strong. I can't look at the Patriots game. It's kind of like, okay, that's one. Maybe if they show me something today, I'll buy it, but I just don't buy. The Patriots might have one of the worst defensive setups, up until this week.
Right. So I think we're unanimous here on the Detroit Lions winning and going 4-1. It's only 2.5, so it's less than a field goal. Next one on the ticket, we've got the Indianapolis Colts at home, -2 versus the 0-4 San Francisco 49ers. Under over 45 points. Jacoby Brissett, Dan. I think he has a big day.
He could.
I think he has a pretty big day, man. Taking a look at this game here, I just want to get it.
This is the nastiest game. I think this is nastier.
I don't know.
This
You
is
might see some
nastier than
fireworks
Jets
here, though, man. Because, I mean, the Colts, listen, the Colts give up almost 300 yards passing per game. At the end of the day, both of these teams, their secondaries suck. You might see a lot of passing here, a lot of fireworks. Even defensively, I mean, the Colts are giving up like 400 and some odd yards per game. I mean, their defense is terrible, as it's always been, even going back to when Peyton was there. San Fran, hey, maybe they could feel themselves a little bit, score some points. What's the total on this again, Dan? This is a 45-point total, which is apropos. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a lot of scoring in this game.
I don't want my eyes to burn out of my head, so I'm not going to watch it.
Understood, man. And, when you take a look at the injury report for the San Francisco 49ers, you got a lot of questionable players there. And, as far as Indianapolis, what's the story on Andrew Luck? Is he ever coming back?
Yeah, I think he wants to get out of there, which, can you blame him?
No.
I mean, I would be gone. He came back to practice this week. We'll see. I don't think there's any set timeline. Like, the update from ESPN is basically that he's highly doubtful to suit up any games left in October. And he took a step forward by practicing on a limited basis, but basically nobody really knows.
All right, sounds good, man. Well, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if you're like a teaser player, might be a pretty interesting play to take that total down. Under 38. You could probably get that with something else. I think you're looking at an over there. So, looking at the next game on the ticket, Dan. Oh, this has been brutal. And if I'm Matt Moore and his agent right now, I'm trying to get out of Miami. Why not put the guy in? You see Jay Cutler's demeanor during the Wildcat plays. You see that?
Well, yeah, but that's what they told him to do.
Oh, man. Yeah, well, they told him to act like a dolt.
They said, don't move, stand there, and don't touch anybody. That's literally what they told him to do.
Oh, man.
I feel like I keep being a Cutler apologist, and it's your team, but if you're going to sign Cutler, can you at least run a somewhat semblance of you got to say, look, the offensive line's been bad for you guys. Ajayi hasn't been, he's been banged up a little bit. He hasn't been nearly what you think he was going to be. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I was Matty Missile, I'd probably be like, yo, get me to San Francisco.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But, dude, I mean, you're also talking about a Titans team that got absolutely annihilated. I mean...
Dude, I have to take the Dolphins today. I absolutely have to take the Dolphins
After coming
today.
off giving up 57
They
points
scored
in
3
attack.
points in 2 games. I get it. It's 83 degrees and sunny out in Miami today. They're playing a Titans team with Matt Castle. Put that in your pipe and smoke it for a minute. I can't stand Jay Cutler. The Dolphins' defense has been a shell of what I thought it would be. However, I think they bounce back. I think they get to 2-2, and I think they win this game. And I think they should.
And it's still a pick.
I know. I got Tennessee -1 here.
Put the hook in my mouth. I mean, I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm taking the Miami Dolphins today, guys. So I know it's crazy, and I mean the way they've looked. I mean, they got to break out at some point here. That's the play. I think that's the play of the day for me.
I mean, if Houston could put up a 57 spot, if your boys don't put up at least 24 points, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think if you put up 24, you win by a touchdown.
Right. Okay. Well, you know, that's my team. Let's talk about your team. The New York Football Giants, who are 0-4 hosting the 0-4 Chargers. Now, whoever loses this game can clearly focus on next year.
Yep.
We've seen 0-4 teams, including the same Chargers team, be an 0-4 team and actually make the playoffs one year.
Yep.
It is still possible. Okay?
Especially since the NFC East looks like garbage.
I know exactly. So, New York Giants -3, under over a 45. Guys, it's raining here on the East Coast, so just keep that.
It's supposed to pour.
It's supposed to pour all day, right?
Yeah, but you know what? Second game in a row, the Giants have played in the pouring rain.
Okay. So, your footwork's not all there. You know, rain in your eyes, stuff like that.
I think that affect. I mean, look, let's be real. You have a West Coast team coming east for a 1:00 game.
Yep.
Okay, from a place where it doesn't rain, maybe once a year.
Yep.
I don't think I remember. I think the Padres have been rained out one time in 20 years.
Wow.
Okay, that says something, right? To a windy, because it's going to be windy too, guys. A windy, rain-driven field. I mean, look. The Giants are 2 seconds away from basically being 2-2.
I agree.
In the last 2 games. And I don't want to be an apologist here. I'm as disgusted as anybody with this team. But the offensive line has looked markedly better, which isn't saying much. But Eli hasn't been living on his back, and they've actually put up 20-plus points. I think this game comes down to the defense standing strong. Mm-hmm. And for an 0-4 team, remember, they've lost 1 game at home. The other 3 have been on the road. So they still have 7 home games, including this one. The Giants have been known to rattle off 6, 7, 8, 9 wins in a row.
I mean, there's so many intangibles in this game. Number 1 being the weather. I don't like betting games that are in the rain.
Dude, here's the thing. Everything is telling you to take the Giants.
Yeah, well, and especially you give me a Chargers team that gives up 163 yards on the ground per game, Dan. Damn.
And you know who's starting for the Giants today? I know if Scotty Weave is out there, you know, we got some Wayne Gallman starting for us today.
Oh, wow. Well, the Giants need it because they're piss poor as far as their running game. 59 yards a game.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. But,
man.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely terrible. You know, they use the passing game as a running game. It is what it is. But no, I mean, look, it's, you know, Rivers is, I mean, and the record of coming east on the 1:00, like, everything is setting up here. I know it's like crazy at -3, but maybe this is, I just can't see the Giants losing this game.
Going 0-5.
But that being said, the -3 scares me.
Well,
I could see them winning 21-19 on a last-second field goal.
Yeah,
that one surprised me.
Yeah, and you got 2 0-4 teams, so both teams clearly backs are against the wall. They both know you go 0-5, your season's over. I mean,
the season's basically over at 0-4. I think the Giants can spin it because you're like, oh, you know, if you run the table at home,
Yeah.
That's 7 wins, right?
True.
The Chargers, I don't know, man. I mean, this 0-4, they've lost 3 games at home. Like they've already lost almost half their home game. So and they're in probably the best division, right? Would you say that's the best? I mean, the Carr injury throws it, but the Chiefs, Broncos, and a healthy Raiders team.
Oh yeah.
Probably the best division in football.
Sure.
So look, this is my home team. I don't I don't want to. I'm going to ride it as a Heartland bet, just a small one for me. I think the Giants come out with a victory. I think they actually win pretty significantly, just because they have to.
I mean, the last couple of games, the Giants have been right in it, and the Chargers are in their games too.
It's the defense has been great, but not really. Like, the Eagles game, the punting was terrible. First off, Brad Wing, if I can out punt you, like, please, like that's ridiculous. He's let so many balls go off and get shanked off his foot. If he punted a decent punt in the Eagles game, maybe that 61-yard field goal doesn't even get attempted.
Sure.
And then obviously last week, I'm trying to run through freaking airport security. I listened to the Giants go up with 2 minutes left. I get through airport security and they lose. So it's like, just been a tragedy of errors. But hey, let's see what happens. I think you got a lot of guys in the Giants that are also playing for contracts, right? So when you're playing for money, you still play hard.
Yeah, good point. All right, well, we'll see which team goes to 1-4, which team goes to 0-5 and 1-4. So let's move on, man. Let's move on to the next one here, Dan. I'm taking a look at on my board. It is, hold on. We've got the Cardinals, who are 2-2, at the 3-1 Eagles. Eagles flying high, kid. Minus 6.5.
I mean, they've also played some really garbage teams like the Giants.
Good point, man. So, I don't know. You know what? I'm looking at this game here. I think this game, are the Cardinals...
The Eagles are going to beat them, but 6.5 is a lot.
Are the Cardinals starting to slip? Is this...
They have slipped.
Decline?
Everybody, dude, I don't know what everybody was in love with the Cardinals. Their quarterback receiver, their quarterback and number one receiver combo is 138 years old combined.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, I love you, Larry Fitzgerald, but and you still got great hands, but I mean, that's your reliant weapon. They have other good receivers, but it seems like Palmer's arm is shot, dude.
Yeah.
He can't make the throw. He looks skittish in the pocket. Losing their running back was a huge loss.
Mm-hmm.
The Cardinals are not a good football team, and especially not good on the road.
You know what?
Good. No, I was saying I would love to see the Cardinals upset the Eagles today, but nothing is convincing me that is going to happen.
I know, and I take a look at the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, listen, you're passing 320 yards per game, and I mean, basically almost putting up, I'd say, what is this, about 380 yards per game offensively, yet you only average 18.5 points.
Oh,
that is terrible efficiency.
And here's the thing. You know who they played too, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a Lions team. Okay, fair enough. You put up the Colts, they put up 16.
Yeah,
and the 49ers, they put up 18. And in the middle of that, they got blew out by the Cowboys. So, I mean, and now Philadelphia, for all their flaws, they're going to be 4-1 today, and it sucks.
Yep. So taking a look at it here, I just want to see what the weather is here, man. I think we're A-okay as far as the weather's concerned. The one thing I do want to know as far as the Arizona Cardinals, John Brown, J.J. Nelson, they're both questionable for this game. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to play, but, I mean, that doesn't leave you much if those guys are banged up.
I mean, you got Larry Fitzgerald.
Yes.
And then the other dude. They do have one other receiver who's actually dope, but I'm with you. I just am not a believer. I think the best thing that could happen to Arizona is play out the year, and basically, I know you hate tanking, but I don't think they're going to have to worry about that. I think they're going to get the crap kicked out of them. you get yourself one of those nice new, like there's 5 quarterbacks coming out of college that look money. Get yourself a quarterback, get yourself, a tackle, and then you got your running back coming back. Your defense still is pretty good, and hope you catch lightning in a bottle next year because they're shot.
Right on. So, guys, the only game we got to worry about bad weather is the New York Giants versus the San Diego Chargers.
I do have
LA
light
Chargers.
rain in Cincinnati. Sorry.
Light rain in Cincinnati. Okay. But that's it. So anything else, the weather's not an issue. Including the Jags at the Steelers today. Jags 2-2 versus the 3-1 Steelers. Jags, what an up and down season they've been having, huh? Pittsburgh minus 7.5, under over a 43. Damn.
Jekyll and Hyde,
Yeah, Jekyll and Hyde, big time. You just don't know which team you're going to get here with the Jags. But do the Pittsburgh Steelers come out and laid a smackdown on the Jacksonville Jags here?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think it's going to be a smackdown. Remember, I don't know, man. I'm not a huge fan of the Steelers' defense. I think it can get exposed a little bit. And again, I just don't know what to really expect from Jacksonville week in, week out. Like, you're right. It could be a bludgeoning, but Jacksonville could also win.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if you got thoughts on this. I'm staying away.
I've never seen a team. Well, they've occurred in the past, but I mean, when you got a team that's this inconsistent, I mean, you go into Houston week 1, the same Houston team that just won big last week. You go in there and you win 29-7 and look like you're beating your chest.
Them.
Then you go get murdered by Tennessee. You come back and you destroy the Ravens in London.
And
then you lose to the Jets. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah,
what team you're going to get here.
I think, the London game, I think the Ravens completely overlooked them. I mean, they still got their ass kicked, but whatever. But yeah, I don't know what to think of this team because it's not like they win at home or on the road. It doesn't matter. It just, the Jets though. The Jets defense kind of held them down. They lost in overtime. So, yeah, I don't know what to think. I don't see how you can play this game. I know a lot of people are going to be all over Pittsburgh here. I actually think that I would buy a point, get it up to plus 7.5, and take the Jags.
Yeah, and when you look at Blake Bortles, he has nothing for yards this year. He only averages 183 yards per game.
Who's he throwing to?
I know, exactly.
I actually think Bortles has been looked better. He's not as skittish. He looks like he's hanging back there. But hey, I'm not touching this game. I also think, the Steelers have a lot of internal issues right now too. There's a lot of internal stuff going on, between the players. I know, Roethlisberger went after Antonio Brown a little bit, Antonio Brown acting childish, but I don't know, if you know the whole history of receivers, don't go after your number one guy in the media. But Le'Veon Bell also had a huge game last week. You think, he probably has another huge game against Jacksonville. So we'll see.
We will see. All right, man. So let's move on to the next game because this one's really interesting. And you got some pretty decent backup quarterbacks here for the Raiders, but don't know who's going to shine today. You got the Ravens, who are 2-2, going into the Oakland Raiders. Oakland -3, under over of 39 points. Now, when you look at the depth chart as far as the Oakland Raiders, E.J. Manuel, Connor Cook, and Trent Edwards, who is going to fill the spot today, Dan? Do you know?
Well, it's E.J. Manuel.
E.J. Manuel.
Okay. When you say fill the spot.
Fill the spot.
E.J. Manuel's going to.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that if he's not doing well, you got a couple of other guys sitting here. You don't think so, huh?
No.
They're gonna be like the Miami Dolphins and Jay Cutler.
Well, no, it's a little different of a situation. E.J. Manuel filled the best, the best they have right now. And the other thing is, you prepare your team all week for E.J. Manuel, right? Like you can't. It's a little bit of a different offense than Derek Carr. I don't get this line though.
The line's strange, isn't it?
The line. I know the Ravens got their ass kicked in London, right? But the Ravens also give up the 4th least yards to receivers, And you have now a backup quarterback
Sure.
that is not notorious for throwing very well on target. And I know you got two great receivers, but you got Crabtree coming off a bruised lung. You got Amari Cooper, coming off a non-existent game. I'm staying far, far away from this.
That's a very tricky line. You can't take the Ravens. They average 15 points a game, dude.
And I feel like,
Brutal.
look, I kind of have a rule. Like, I don't take backup quarterbacks either.
Right?
Unless you're giving me a bunch of points.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, you're talking about taking away Derek Carr, who right now is one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Right.
And it's -3 with EJ Manuel. I mean, I can't. I just can't do it.
All right. Well, I got one big play so far, and I'm looking at the rest of it. All right, so we got 3 more games to go here. We've got a couple of 4 o'clocks. We got the Seahawks, your favorite team in the world here, versus the 3-1 Rams. And the Rams are -1, under over a 47.5. Seattle Seahawks are 0-2 away, 2-2 total, and had a pretty big win last week. And some people are calling that their coming out party. I'm not a believer. I'm not a believer in this team.
Coming out.
So, Seahawks Rams, what do you think? Nasty, low-scoring affair here?
No.
No?
Rams are going to beat some ass.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Rams are going to beat some ass. You want to talk about a coming out party against the goddamn Indianapolis Colts? I mean, dude.
That's what people are saying, man.
I know. No, I'm not saying you. I heard the same thing. Oh, the Seahawks, they played Indianapolis at home, who might have the worst defense in the league.
Yeah.
And you're telling me it's a coming out party. This is the same team that almost got beat by the 49ers.
True.
The Los Angeles Rams, and you remember, I said before the year, everybody laughed at me because I was like, man, it's like I like the Rams are my dark horse pick to get into the playoffs this year. The Seahawks are one of the worst teams in the league when they play on the road.
Oh, I agree. I agree big time.
They have no offensive line. And you're telling me that you're going up against a really, really stout defensive line. This is a team that went on the road and put up 35 against the Cowboys. Okay, I know that Niners game, they let the Niners get back into it at the end by, with some stupid penalties. They should have beat the Niners like 56-21. Okay, this is a team that annihilated Indianapolis. And now we're talking about, this team killed Indianapolis, and we're talking about Seattle coming out. Seattle's going to get their ass whooped. Richard Sherman's going to give up 2 touchdowns today.
Really?
By himself.
The LA Rams score 35.5 points per game.
This Seattle team is a joke.
Really? So the Rams sound like a big play for you.
I love the Rams.
Wow.
I love me some LA Memorial Coliseum. Fade the Seahawks. It's more fading the Seahawks on the road.
Yeah, I get it.
Because look, if you took these two teams and X'd out their names, right? And you just took their stats out of a hat and you looked at like Team A and Team B, you'd be like, oh my God, Team B and the Rams, is going to whoop their ass. That's how you got to look at it because the Seahawks are garbage on the road.
All right. Sounds good. And you know what? The Rams are pretty healthy too. They're not really banged up all that much. So we'll see how that all shakes out. But I think you're making me a believer here. And when you look at the Seahawks, their injury report is a mile long, brother. And everybody's either sidelined, questionable. It's a mess for them. So you might be onto something there. And the Rams are favored in the game.
Yeah, and I got this as a pick earlier, but the point, I don't care about the point. I think they win.
Let's go with 2 more. We got the Packers at the Cowboys. Cowboys -3, under over a 53 points. In Jerry's world, brother.
Yeah.
Revenge game. Revenge game for the Dallas Cowboys here.
We got a bunch of injuries in this game.
Right.
That's what I'm looking at here. I need to see. I think the Packers come in and beat them. But I got to see what happens, with these injury reports because you got a bunch of O linemen. The Dallas Cowboys are now. You got Tyron Smith questionable. Big deal. La'el Collins is questionable. Your 2 cornerbacks are questionable. Sean Lee, which is, if he doesn't play, that's a huge loss.
Mm-hmm.
He's questionable. So, I don't know how I feel. I just look that I try not to be clouded because I do not like the Dallas Cowboys, but they have not looked the same. You know, Green Bay's getting a little healthier. I think they're going to get Bulaga back today. You know, you got to see how that plays out. Montgomery probably won't play, but again, you never bet against Aaron Rodgers. No. +3, give it to me all day on the Packers, minding the injury report.
Dallas Cowboys secondary has been pretty bad, man. I mean, they're giving up almost 258 yards per game, and Aaron Rodgers should have a field day there. I would expect a lot of scoring in this game. A little bit of offensive fireworks. I'm not
big game
playing
for
it.
Jordy.
Yeah, I'm not playing it whatsoever, though. I think I'm going to pass on this one. I think I'm the opposite way, though. I can see the Dallas Cowboys sneaking a victory here, brother. It's just the defense in the secondary that bothers me, so I don't think I'm going to play it.
Yeah, and you got maybe the best quarterback in the league going.
Yeah, good point. All right. Final one, we've got Sunday Night Football, and it looks like we have a home team underdog on primetime. We have the Kansas City Chiefs, who are 4-0, going into the 2-2 Texans. Kansas City -1, under/over of 44.5 points in Houston. Do the Chiefs?
This is the biggest overreaction I've ever seen.
Do the Chiefs go 5-0?
Yes.
Yes, you love the Chiefs. I know that's your team here.
I mean,
you've been successful with them. Go for it,
dude. I mean, we talk all the time about book overreactions. I understand that Houston got on a roll and beat some Tennessee ass, but this is a completely different level. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs are a legit Super Bowl threat. And Houston, outside of that game, I mean, have they really done it for you?
No.
I mean, they haven't done nothing for me. I think Kansas City rolls them in Houston.
Well, you got an Alex Smith who has been very, very productive this year. He's completing 76% of his passes, 8 touchdowns, no interceptions whatsoever. Okay? Now, you also take a look at this team. I mean, Kansas City's putting up 30.5 points a game. They've got over 400 yards on offense per game. Clearly on paper the better team. But I can't bet against a home team underdog on primetime. I can't do it. And I mean, listen, with Watson at the helm, Houston's not been that bad. I mean, in the last 2 games, I mean, they almost knocked off the Patriots in New England.
Almost.
All right, and then they murdered Tennessee. I think this game could go either way, to be honest with you. You know how undefeated teams fare. There's one left.
Oh, I know.
There's one left. And I have a feeling this game can go right down to the wire. And I think it's going to be exciting.
But you know what? If there's one other coach that I'd be like, besides Belichick, that I'd be like, oh, rookie quarterback, that'd be Fat Andy, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Dan, great analogy here. Great breakdown of all these games. So I'd like to know where you're at, brother. Because I've got one big play today. And I think I know where you're going too. So let's get right into it, man.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with the Bengals -3, the Jets pick, the Lions -2.5, the Los Angeles Rams, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Both Rams -1, Chiefs I got it a pick. And I am waiting on the injury report, but I will most likely go Green Bay.
Really?
Oh, yeah. But that's what I got locked in right now. It's the Bengals, Jets, Lions, Rams, and Chiefs.
All right, man. So I'm taking a look at the card here, guys, and you're absolutely going to hate where I'm going here. So, but I'm doing it. I am taking the Miami Dolphins today as an underdog at home. I think they beat the Tennessee Titans, and they beat Matt Castle, and they get the job done. I hate the fact that I got to bet on Jay Cutler. It drives me crazy. But 3 points in 2 games. I think they come out with a little bit of a different game plan. And I think they get the job done at home. I'm taking the Miami Dolphins, guys. Call me nuts. So Dan's got his plays. I've got my one big play of the day. Kind of leaning the Detroit Lions a little bit. Kind of leaning the over in the Colts of 49ers if I can buy that down. I think Dan's talked me into the Rams. And that's pretty much it. But that's where I'm at, brother.
Yeah, well, I think, look, I'm with you on Miami. I just don't have the intestinal fortitude to play it.
Yes.
I wish you the best luck. I think you're right on there, though.
All right, sounds good. So what do you guys say to close out of here, brother?
Hey, man, just another great week. Thanks, everybody, for listening. And, hey, around on Twitter. And we'll catch you next time.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, we love you to death. Enjoy your football Sunday here. Go easy out there, though. Don't go nuts. Don't chase. We got a lot of football. We got a lot of football.
There's lots of MLB baseball to pair stuff with,
yes,
too, guys.
sir. Yes, sir. So we love you to death. Enjoy your weekend. Go out there and get that money. Let's go.
Peace.